Welcome to Daily Office Devotions. I'm Reggie Kidd, and every Monday through Friday, I offer devotional observations on some portion of that day's readings for morning prayer from the Book of Common Prayer. I'm so very glad to be with you this Monday, following the sixth Sunday after Pentecost. This happens to be year 2 of the daily lectionary, and this week we are in proper 11. Our readings today come from Joshua chapter 7, Romans chapter 13, and Matthew chapter 26. I'll make brief observations from each passage. Achan's sin at Jericho. Achan sins by taking personal booty from Jericho. Compare Joshua chapter 6, verses 17 through 19 with chapter 7, verse 1. His sin is a perfect expression of what centuries later Paul describes as making provision for the flesh to gratify its desires, Romans chapter 13, verse 14. The children of Israel are called to bring the day of God's presence to a region that had been living in the night of the dominion of evil, Romans chapter 13. Think Conan the Barbarian. The utter destruction of Jericho and the dedication of all its valuables to the Lord are a matter of bringing things into God's purifying, purging, and cleansing light. Now, Achan chooses the darkness, and Israel's mission suffers. Thus, the failed campaign against the city of Ai. Jesus' obedience in the garden. In the Garden of Gethsemane, by contrast, Jesus does not succumb to the darkness. His "not my will but thine" opens a window onto one of the deepest and most wonderful of theological mysteries. The covenant made in eternity, by which the eternal Son assents to the mission of our rescue on behalf of the Father's love. That mission called for the Son, having been made man per the Creed, to drink the cup of judgment that all the Achans of the world, from Adam and Eve in that other garden to you and me, deserve to drink. For in the Lord's hand there is a cup full of spiced and foaming wine, which he pours out, and all the wicked of the earth shall drink and drain the dregs. Psalm 75, verse 8, in the Book of Common Prayer's translation. The result of Christ's "not my will but thine" in order to drink that cup is that we are privileged to drink instead the cup of blessing. I will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord. Psalm 116, verse 11, again in the translation in the Book of Common Prayer. And then, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Psalm 23, 5 in the New King James. Encouragement from Paul. And precisely because the cup of blessing runs over for us, even the law, once a terrible threat and reminder of our sin, now takes on a different role. The law, no longer our bitter accuser, is now in the hands of the Holy Spirit within us, our wise companion. For having now been loved with the love of God's eternal covenant poured out on the cross for us, we learn to love. Love does no wrong to a neighbor, says Paul. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. Romans chapter 13, verse 10. Be blessed this day.